So welcome back. Now we're going to log into our WordPress dashboard to see what's behind the scenes and have a run through of the menus and what each of those items do. So like we said before, to log into your dashboard, I'll go to localhost / coffee shop / wp-admin. Once you do that, it comes to this page. Then you put in your login credentials. So I'm going to log into mine. I can decide to enable this to remember my login if I want to. Now once you log in, you'll get to this page. Now this is your WordPress dashboard. You can clearly see it at the top here, the top left corner. It says dashboard. This is your WordPress dashboard. Now a run through of this entire interface you're looking at. Mind you, we're still working in the browser. This is not a desktop application or something. We're building right in our browser. All we needed was just WordPress, a local web server, and a browser, and then we're set. So at the top here, this is actually the WordPress admin bar. So at this bar you have a few menus. This is just the WordPress logo that takes you to WordPress official websites and some other useful links. The next menu, this, when you hover over this and you click on it, or you click on this, either one of these two, what it does is it takes you to the front end. So you can see as we clicked on that, we landed back on the front end of the site. This is what users see. Now that's a very useful link if you want to be toggling between the back end and the front end. But what I typically like to do is when I open the dashboard like this, I also like to open the front end on another tab or another browser entirely. The good thing about this is, as long as your web server is running, you can have multiple browsers opening the exact same site at the same time on your local system. So you want to do that if you're trying to maybe test for things like browser compatibility. Maybe if you have changed one setting here, you want to be sure that it's working on Chrome and Firefox at the same time and all that. So as you're on the front end like this, because I am logged in, I'm still going to see this admin bar. Now this admin bar is visible to everyone that is logged into the site, whether you're an admin, author, editor, subscriber, or contributor. You would see this admin bar. There are some plugins that you can use to actually hide this if you want to, but let's not get into that for now. If I wanted to switch back, let's assume I landed here, let's assume I clicked on this and I landed on the front end, and I need to go back to the dashboard. I can either type in the URL back here, I'll just add /wp-admin, or I put my mouse over this is the name of the site, and then I click on dashboard. It will take me back to the back end of the site. So yes, you will hear me use the phrase back end every now and again. I think it's just something that Nigerians are typically used to, and mostly developers, so it helps you understand what we're talking about. But you can also use the phrase dashboard. That's the official phrase. So back at this dashboard, you also have another icon just after your website name. That's the update notification. It notifies you whenever there's an update for a theme or a plugin on your WordPress website. I'll explain later what themes and plugins are. Then here is for comments. This next icon is for comments. So if someone has commented on your blog or a particular page in your website, you would see the number here. Then this is just another quick link that allows you to create different types of content on your website. So for example, you can create a new post, you can add up, that's to media here in this case is uploading maybe a video or a picture or something into the library of the WordPress site. That's not to say that when you upload here it becomes visible automatically on the front end, no, but this is like the media library. Then if you want to create maybe a new page, maybe contact us or about us or whatever services, that's where you do it. Then if you want to create a new user, this is where you do it. So you create a new user here, and then you can assign a user role for that person. Then to the far right, this is a shortcut to your own profile, that is you that is logged in. So you can see it saying hi admin. I can edit my profile and I can log out from here. I can change my picture when I want to. I just click on edit profile, and then it takes me to where I can edit my profile. Then this page, this is dashboard. It gives you an overview of what is happening on your site. By default, when you're on install WordPress, it shows you like this welcome widget. That's another phrase you should get accustomed to in WordPress. Things like this, they are called widgets. So a widget is something that contains that functionality that you can use to do something else, or contains functionality that provides you with information. So for example, this is the welcome widget. This is your WordPress website health status widget. This is a quick draft widget. This allows you to, if you are blogging, if you're running a blog for example, you can just quickly create a post here. You just put the title and then you type in the content, and then you say save draft, so that you don't forget what you wanted to do. Later you can now go back, fine tune the content, and then publish it. Then this, it says at a glance, so it just tells you how many posts you have, how many comments, how many pages you have, what version of WordPress you're running, and what theme you're running. And then it also tells you if you are preventing search engines from indexing your site or not. Then activity here just shows the most recent activities. I think is the most recent 5 activities on your site. Then this last widget here just gives you like news based on what is happening over at WordPress. Whatever WordPress is doing, that's the official WordPress creator, what they're doing. So they post like news every now and again. So these are like blog posts that when you click, it takes you to their website and you can read news and all that. Then to the left here, this left pane, this is the sidebar. This is the WordPress sidebar, or menu bar as we will call it. Now this is where most of the magic happens, and you have a bunch of menus here which I'll run through very quickly. So home is this part where we're looking at right now. That is home. Updates is a part that shows you if you have any updates on your site. So this, for example, is telling you that you have this plugin has an update that you can install. This theme has an update that you can install. It shows you like version numbers and things like that. We would use this from time to time, so we will still go into it deeply at some other time. Then the next menu you have here is posts. Now if you're running a blog like something like Linda KG, this will be very, very useful. So this is where you create all your posts. So if you have a new gist that you need to post, or a new article, or maybe what you do is you write stories, you can do this, use this to write your stories and post them. So all posts just shows you all the posts on the site, whether it has been published or not. Add new allows you to create a new post. Categories allows you to tag your posts and put them in different categories. So if you're writing stories for kids, stories for adults, stories for or maybe it's a blog that talks about tech and maybe baking or food and health, like a multi-purpose blog, you want to put them into categories. Then tags have just tiny bits of information that is also visible to visitors on the front end. So if, for example, somebody has read a post about Nokia, and you have a tag called Nokia, when someone clicks on that tag Nokia, your website will immediately display any and every post that contains the tag Nokia. So it's a good way to tie different things together. Yes, categories and tags may look alike, but tags is category is more like a bag, and then a tag is like a pricing. Say, for example, you want to find things that are 10 naira only, or you want to find things that are meant for kids below age 5. So that's where I would use tags. Then categories would be more like, this is about animals, this is about dogs. Then a tag, for example, a perfect example of a tag in this case, the category is dog, but the tag in this case is wolves or bubbles or Dachshunds, whatever type of dog. Then the next one is media. I spoke about media earlier. So media is like a library that allows you to store the different media files that you have: pictures, videos, audio, PDFs, and things like that. You can store them in the media library. One thing you should note though is WordPress, in as much as you can upload a lot of content onto WordPress, there are some things that it will not allow you upload for security reasons. So things like exe files are like Windows files, software that you would install on Windows. By default, it may prevent you from uploading it, so you may need like maybe a special plugin to remove that security, or dabble into the code of WordPress by yourself if you know how to, if you write PHP or you know where to do it, and then you turn off those security levels. Pages is where you create the actual pages. So if you have like home page, contact page, about us, services, gallery page or something, this is where you do all that magic. Comments allows you to manage comments on the site. So if there are people that have commented on the site, for example, this is a sample comment. It says, hi, this is a comment, blah 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 blah. This is just a default comment that comes with WordPress, so you can, on approval, you can delete it if you want to. Yes, but obviously you won't want to leave dummy content like this by the time you're going live, so you need to do some cleanup. Then appearance, this is a very integral part of your solution. So this appearance, for example, under themes, this is where you install WordPress themes. Now a theme is, look at a theme as like your makeup kit. If you're a lady, you want to go out, so you need to put on a mascara or an eye pencil, I don't know whatever that thing is called, your Mary Kay type stuff. So that's an example of a theme. For the guys, you probably understand things like a new car seat, or your laptops, for example. for some people that like to put like stickers on them, or laptop covers, or even your phone too. You buy a new pouch for your phone. Yes, your phone is pretty, it has come clean and all that, but you don't like the default color that came with your phone, so you want to give it something extra. You want to add extra features. Maybe you want something that you'll be able to hook something onto it and hold it like from a pin, or a thread, or rope or something. So you buy like a pouch that has those features and put your phone into that pouch. So a theme is something like that. So themes allows you to add extra creativity and beauty to your site, and then you can add more stuff. You can make your site look different from others. The customize menu here allows you to customize your theme. So after you've installed your theme, you go to customize and then change things like colors, where the menu location is, your logo, your favicon. Favicon is what appears at the top of your website here. So if you visit sites like Facebook, for example, if you're not familiar with favicons, I'll show you an example. This at the top here is a favicon, favicon. You might want to call that favorite icon. That's what it's actually called, but in tech terms we'll probably call it favicon. Then you have widgets. I told you need to get familiar with that term, widgets. So widgets, it allows you to add like extra functionality to your site. Maybe you want to display certain things. If you're familiar with platforms like Jumia and Konga or Amazon, you will have noticed that when you click on a category, maybe computers, to the left hand side you see things like price, and filter by price, filter by brand, filter by make. Those are widgets. So this allows you to do things like that. So you create like sidebars, and then you can drag and drop some of these things on it and configure them as you would like. Menus is where you create your actual menu. So for example, on our site, this menu, this is where you would create it under menus. So you'd give it a menu, like for example, I may name this main menu, then I'll now add this sample page, I add it to this menu. If I have other pages, I add it, about us and all that. Then I say, oh yeah, I now tell WordPress, please put this menu in so location. So it will do just that. Then background allows you to modify some parts of your theme. So in this case, this is a customizer. If I add a new image here, it will change the background of this site. So it's just another customization for the theme. Then theme editor, this part is for people who are conversant with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You can see by default is showing you a prompt that if you don't know anything about this, do not make any changes here directly, so that you don't break your website. So you can see it's more of code. So if you understand code, you can actually modify a lot of things here. This is actually your template, your theme. So I'm currently using the 2020 theme, and these are like all the files that make up that theme, of which if you click any one, we can make changes and updates them, and then the change will be affected on the front end. Plugins are parts of WordPress. They're like tiny things, files that help you add extra functionality to your site. So a plugin in this case, for example, if you own a car that came with obviously it has like headlamps and other parts of the car are all there, but maybe what is missing is you want fenders, or you want neon lights on the doors. Like some cars, when you open the door, when you open the doors, then it's with the neon lights, you see things reflecting on the floor. So this would allow you to do such. Then if you upload plugins onto this place, it will allow you to add the extra functionality to the site. Plugins in this case, maybe a contact form, for example. If you don't want to manually write the code for the contact form, you can just download the contact form plugin, install it, and then use that to configure your site and add your contact form to the site. So there are a bunch of things that can be added, even things like security software that would constantly scan the site and make sure that there's nobody hacking the site. Those are plugins that can be added. Then you have your plugin editor. This again is very similar to the theme editor that you found under appearance. This theme editor is similar to this. So this allows you to manually modify the code of any plugin you have installed on your site. So this again, only dabble into it if you understand code. If you do not understand code, do not go in there so you don't break your site. Then users is where you manage all the users on the system, from your admins to subscribers to editors. This is where you can see the list of people that are registered on the site. You can add new, you can modify your own profile. As an administrator, you can also modify other people's profile. You can do things like resetting people's passwords if they don't know how to, or they want you to help them do it. You can add pictures, you can change the names, emails, and all that. You can delete users if you want to delete. The next one is tools. Tools provides you with some extra functionality that comes with WordPress by default. So for example, you have these categories to tags converter. So what this does is what this particular tool does is, if you have categories in your posts and you want to make them tags as well, when you click on this, it will show you step by step how you can do that, and then to convert your tags, your categories into tags. Then you have import, you have export. Now the import allows you to import content into your WordPress site. So say for example you're running you have another WordPress site that has things that you'd like. For example, this is import page. If you have another WordPress site and you want to import things like the posts from that site, pages, comments, categories, tags, you download. What you're going to do is to export the content from that site and then import it into here. Now this is a different case if you're trying to copy content from a website that you do not manage directly. If you're not managing a particular website, you cannot use this function to import the content. But this RSS, if you are familiar with RSS feeds, RSS feeds are like little bits of content. You know, like when you see news content from maybe your phone or something, you're just browsing maybe like Opera Mini or your web browser, and then you're seeing like short news that, oh, something happened in so place, or federal government has removed 20 naira from fuel. They won't put the full story, they just put like the short. You only see the short story. Now if you visit the RSS feed, you can copy the RSS feed, put it on this site, and then when you import, it will import all the news from that as RSS feeds into your own site. So it's more like you're copying someone's content into your site. Bear in mind, if you're copying content from someone's site, remember, plagiarism is a crime as far as tech is concerned. So if at all you're going to copy content from another site, try and make it as unique as you can by changing words, moving things around, making sure that it's slightly different, get new pictures and all that. So these are different platforms where you can import content from. Same applies to export. This allows you to export your content from your current site into a file so that you can import it into somewhere else. Now don't confuse this with a backup. This is not an exact backup of your site. There are other ways to run backups of your WordPress website, because this would only export the raw content, not the database. It doesn't export your database, so to speak. So if anything happens, if you export this and something happens to your database, well, your database is gone. You can see that it's not much here. You can't export users from here, for example. You need something else to be able to help you export users. But the best way to have done that would be to back up your database and move your content around easily. Site help just shows you an overview of security issues on your site, to tell you if there are things you need to action on. For example, it's saying my site is running an older version of PHP, which is PHP 7.2. So it's telling me that I may need to update this. It's also telling me to remove some inactive plugins. One thing you should know as well, if you are uploading themes and plugins to your site, if there's any theme or plugin that you are not using, please remove it. The more content you have, the more workload you are giving your WordPress website to think about. So don't give it so much work to do, because it will also tell on your server and speed and performance. Then export personal data. This was a new feature that was introduced, I think, in WordPress 4.5, WordPress 4.5 or so. If you input a person's email here and you say send request, what that does is it will send an email to that person to verify that they want to retrieve you want to export their personal information. Now this was introduced because of this recent happenings with stolen data online, so they want people to be more accountable for other people's information. Then you have this other one that says erase personal data. So if someone has requested that their data should be deleted, this is where you grant that request or deny the request. Then the settings, this is another good part of your solution that you'll be using sometimes, most of the time, especially when you're just installing WordPress for the first time for a new site. You do some form of configurations on this settings page. So things like the name of the site. This tagline is something that appears just at the top here. You can see Lagos Coffee Shop - just another WordPress site. So in this case, I may say the best coffee shop in Nigeria. So this is my own tagline. I might decide to use this as my own tagline. Then you have the WordPress address. Please do not modify this. The moment you modify this, you may lock yourself out of the website. Then you will have to manually go into the database and start playing with stuff just to get yourself back here. You only change this if you know what you're doing. Now the WordPress URL, if for example I'm managing the WordPress URL from another location, that is what will be here. But if then the actual website itself will be here. Now this can be very confusing. I myself have not been able to wrap my head around this for the last 3 major upgrades off WordPress. But I know for certain that if you tinker with this too much, you could mess up your site and lock yourself out. Then the admin email address. Now when you do things on your site, maybe someone registers on your site, he sends an email to this email. This is the admin email. If you add a contact form, and someone sends or makes an inquiry, you will send it to this same email if this is what is configured, or if the contact form allows you to configure more email types, it would allow you to do the same. Now if you change this email, you need to confirm from the new email that, oh, this is the new email address I want to use. Then the next one is membership. Membership allows you to turn off user registration or turn on user registration. So if you don't want people to be able to register on your site, you turn it off. If you want them to be able to register, you turn it on. Then the new user default role. This allows you to specify what user role people will get if they register on your site. By default, it uses a subscriber user role. I recommend that you leave it as a subscriber user role, because if you say administrator, for example, and one random person on the internet stumbles across your blog and registers, that person will become an administrator automatically, meaning they can log into this backend and they can do whatever they want. They can hijack your website and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that if you put subscriber that your website can't still be hijacked. We'll show you how to secure it ever so lightly, but at least this is some form of barricade, a way to protect your site from unauthorized access. And other things are just how to change the language of the site. Remember, we chose UK. I chose UK when I was setting up. Some people may have chosen US. Some may have chosen other languages like Arabic and the likes. The time zone allows you to specify the time zone. I think you can find Lagos around here. Yes, this is Lagos. So yeah. Then the rest is just to set up the date and the time formats. So you just pick whichever one you want, and then at the end here you save. Other menus here, writing. These are all, remember, this is all under settings. Writing allows you to change certain parts of the site. For writing, I hardly use this. For example, this post via email allows someone to be able to send a post. So for example, maybe as an administrator, I want to write a new post for my blog. I can just use an email, send it via email, and then it will post it directly on the site without me having to log into this dashboard. Reading settings. This is a very integral part of your WordPress setup, because you'll be using this a whole lot of the time, especially when you're setting up WordPress websites every now and again. So for example, if it's a blog and what you want people to see immediately they visit your website is the latest news, all you just want them to see is just the blog direct. You don't care about services page and contact us. You don't have any need for any of those. You set this to your latest post, so we will see something like this. So for example, this is a latest post. If I had more posts, for example, it would list everything there, and that's the first thing you'll see. But if I select a static page and then I go to I now specify that what should my home page be. I want my home page to be the sample page. Or if I had more pages like about us, contact us, and the likes, I can say, okay, I want my home page to be contact us, meaning if anyone visits your site, the first place they will land on is contact us. Then post page allows you to specify what page you want to use as your blog page. So what that means is, by default, if you select a page as a blog page, by default WordPress would automatically populate that page with your latest blog posts. As you're adding blog posts, to be putting them there, so that when people visit that page, they see all the blog posts. And this just allows you to define how many blog posts you want to show on one page at a time, how many feeds to show in your RSS feeds. Every WordPress site has an RSS feed. RSS, this is RSS. So an RSS is called rapid. Need to go through this again. No, I clicked the wrong one. It says click cars, so this is a car. I guess these are all the cars. No, that's another car. 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 More cars. I guess that's it. Okay, good. So this is RSS. So it says RSS meaning. So RSS is a short form for rich site summary or really simple syndication. Yes, not wrapping. Really simple syndication. So an RSS, for example, let me show you an example of what the RSS on this coffee shop website looks like. So if I say coffee, if you say localhost slash coffee shop slash RSS. No, I think in this case for WordPress is feeds. That's weird. Oh, I think this is because of my URL structure. So but if you say slash feed or slash RSS, you would see that. And this may also be because we've discouraged search engines from indexing our site, so it's blocking that feed. And it shows you like a summary of all your blog posts as you're posting them. So for this page, it allows you to limit the type of information you want to include in your RSS. If you want the full news to be there or just a summary. Then discussion allows you to control commenting on your on your WordPress website. So there are a bunch of options here that you can look at and you would understand them. They're explanatory. For example, attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the post. So if you have a post that say you copied or you created a post and you mentioned CNN in it, you put a link that links to CNN from there. By the time you save, WordPress will automatically notify that other site that, oh, you have a link on XYZ site somewhere. Some other things include forcing users to register before they can log in, closing comments if you are older than 14 days, holding a comment for manual approval before it is visible on the site. Sometimes I like to turn this, most times I actually like to turn this on, because you could create a post, for example, and people are just talking rubbish and trying to destroy the integrity of the site. So you would want to manually approve a comment before it's visible. Other times you can just leave it off. It doesn't matter. It all depends on the type of blog you're trying to run. This moderation side means that you can add content here. For example, an IP address or URLs that immediately someone posts something from a particular IP address or a particular word, WordPress will automatically hold it for moderation so that you can check before it gets posted. Block list allows you to block certain words, so words like vulgar words or insultive words, abusive words, you can add them here. Things like stupid, mad, or F words, you can just add them here so that immediately someone uses any of those words to comment on your site, it will block that comment completely from even showing up. It will block it immediately. Then this other part, you have the avatars. That this, for example, this is an avatar. This picture right here is an avatar, so it allows you to enable or disable avatars for everybody. So you can choose what type of avatar you want to show, and then specify the rating. I don't use this very often. I usually just leave it as it is. Then this menu here, you have media. This allows you to specify image sizes for images that you upload to your site. So the thumbnail size, there's something that WordPress does. If, for example, you want to upload your profile picture and your profile picture is 1000 by 1000 pixels, now WordPress will automatically create a thumbnail size of 150 by 150, so that this thumbnail size can be used in certain parts of your website. Same thing applies to the medium and large size. Then this part here just allows you to be able to organize your images into folders if you want them. So if you turn this off, it will no longer organize images that you upload into folders. Permalinks. This is a very important part of your website, and you also need to be just slightly careful about here as well. But yes, because this will change how WordPress displays your URLs. So if you leave it as plain, for example, you will notice that if I visit the front end and I say, maybe I click on sample page, if you look at the URL, can you see it's saying that's my normal domain, but it now says /page_id equals to 2. Now for search engines, this is not a friendly looking URL. It's not human readable, so we want human readable URLs. We want to see something like coffeeshop.com/contact us, coffeeshop.com/about us, not coffeeshop.com/page ID 3 4 5 10 !__ and random characters like that. No, we don't want it. We want to see the actual friendly name. So this is what permalink does. Now there are different types of permalinks, so it's you that will choose how you want it to display. I typically use post name. So what post name does is, whatever the name of your page, if your page, for example, is sample page or about us or whatever, it will append it after the domain name. So if you leave it as post name, for example, and then you save, what will happen is all your pages will now be human readable to a large extent. So you'll be seeing things like coffeeshop.com/about us, coffeeshop.com/landing, coffeeshop.com/services. Then the last menu here is the privacy tab. This was added recently as well, I think in WordPress 4.5 or as well. WordPress 4 precisely, I think it was added around that version time. So this allows you to create like a default privacy policy page. Almost every website actually uses a privacy page. They have a privacy page or a terms and conditions page. So this just allows you to specify what page is the privacy policy page. That's about it with your WordPress dashboard. Just at the bottom is just a footer note that says thank you for creating WordPress, and then in this other side you have the version number. It's just behind here. So this is your dashboard. This is where all the magic happens. This is where all the creativity happens. So in subsequent videos I'll be showing you how to utilize each of these menus to create content. Gradually I'll be showing you how to use each of the menus here. Then gradually we'll progress into creating full-blown landing pages or websites according to spec. For now I'll just show you how to use these menus and how they will reflect on your front end whenever you do anything on the back end here. Thanks for watching.